Hello and welcome to Fan Sports Preview. For fans, by fans. I got my guys here, Jamal Cooper, aka Big Coop. I got my other dude here, Anthony Pee Wee Edwards, aka Can't Get Right. That name is carried with you all season, man. And once again, in our production meeting, he got the information wrong again. But you know what? We're gonna roll with it. You know what though?
I might miss on one point, but at the end of the day,
okay.
Who's been right about a lot of situations? No, we were told that USC was going to the playoffs. Are they? I mean, who's been wrong about that?
Well, how wrong have I been? That's a guess from.
That's not a guess. That is watching football and understanding that a team does not have defense.
Well, but can we pull up? We're gonna get the producer to pull up the picks and see who's winning in the pick contest.
Well, you know,
I
did get cheated the first 2 weeks. Most of my picks didn't even go in. But we're gonna say that you got the picks, but you know, situationalism, situations in football. The Lane Kiffin, the Lane Kiffin situation. You keep saying Lane Kiffin's a great coach. I bet again, man.
You know, we just spent all season, man, talking about Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin,
Jimbo. You said Jimbo was a good coach.
Nobody said Jimbo was a good coach.
These people Coop said that at the beginning of the season because he said that Texas A&M was going to win. He said they were going to win big.
That ain't say nothing about Jimbo
championship.
He said
that Jimbo Fisher was a good coach. And he paid almost $80 million to get him out the house.
Who's a good coach? Who's a good coach to you? Who's a good coach?
We ain't gonna talk about that right now.
Why not? We got time.
My expertise.
This is a special show. We are previewing the final weekend of the regular season, so we want to go ahead and jump in, man. We've got a lot going on. First, we know that Auburn. I'm sorry, not Auburn, but Michigan has accepted the ban. Jim Harbaugh's going to sit out the final 3 games of the season, including the big one at Ohio State coming to Ann Arbor. But we also have the Iron Bowl coming up. We have Turkey Day Classic coming up with Alabama State Hornets. All right, ASU Hornets. We're going to do it to Tuskegee. I want to give a shout out to my boy Walter Cooper over there at Tuskegee University. I don't want you to take it personally. We're still going to be boys, all right? Listen. Auburn and Alabama will play in the Iron Bowl, but I really want to get into these coaching firings that have been going on for the past 2 weeks and some of these buyouts, because this has been a big issue. The number of millions of dollars that are being paid to coaches that are no longer at their institution, with Jimbo Fisher being the latest at $76 million of a buyout to just be like, hey, we want you to go somewhere, we just don't want you to be here anymore. What do you guys think, man? What are your thoughts on that?
Like I said before, man, I just feel like it's kind of ridiculous, and so I just gonna keep pushing the can down the road. Or players want to get paid. Mm-hmm. If I see you paying somebody $76 million to leave, and I'm the star, just say if I'm on the team, just say if I'm Bo Nix, and we go to the playoffs and we actually win the championship, what am I worth?
Right.
If you can pay this guy $76 million to leave.
But what does it say for these universities giving up on some of these coaches? And I mean, they're paying them millions of dollars, man. This happened a couple of weeks ago, and I cannot wrap my mind around the idea of someone getting paid $76 million to go sit at home. I can't.
With Jimbo almost dared them to send him home. It was it's like
he did.
They give you the buyout. They tell you, we need you to do this. We need you to do that. Instead of doing it, you sit back and say, hey, man, I got $77 million in my back pocket. I do whatever I want to do. I'm the smartest man in the room. And that's the way he carried himself.
Why wouldn't you feel like that if you fire me, I got $76 million to walk out of here? Like what Ogeron said, show me the dope. Pay me and show me the dope.
And that's part of the reason why the school felt like they had to do something. Because, I mean, with Jimbo doing what Jimbo wanted to do, the argument over Texas A&M has been for the last few years, the offense is predictable. You see, you running up against Jimbo's offense. It's not a young offense. It's not designed for young players. a lot of young, more dynamic players don't want to play in that offense. He was recruiting, but a lot of them didn't. They stay for a year, transfer out. Now, this year, the offense looked the same. And you went out and hired.
Well, I'm not going to say the offense looked the same because they went out and hired Bobby Petrino to be the offensive coordinator.
It did not look like a Bobby Petrino offense.
But they look better offensively this year than they did last year. So I will say that. But I will say that time may have passed Jimbo Fisher because what was working 10 years ago when he was at Florida State no longer works in today's game. So what he's shown is an inability to evolve. All right, we want to talk about the best ones. Nick Saban, whether you like it or not. Urban Meyer evolved. Nick Saban evolved. Some of these guys reluctantly, but Jimbo Fisher just never evolved.
And something else I say about Texas A&M, it has to be like a back channel thing because, like you said, the man 5-star quarterback got hurt, and they do look different. Mm-hmm. So it might be a wink deal that they already know who they gonna hire.
Right.
Because think about it, man, they kicked them out the door after a big win.
Yeah.
So I kind of, it's probably one of them things. They didn't talk to whoever they gonna hire, know they coming, so they just, trying to clear way.
I wonder how this is gonna affect the kids that are in the program already, because there is a 30-day window that those kids have the opportunity to transfer. And if I'm a Colorado, I'm looking at
I'm evaluating
your offensive line, because I need some beef up front. So Mississippi State's another team. That's SEC talent. What is going on with you got Auburn that's still paying a coach as well.
Well, part of that is the fact that the coach did take another job, so it offsets the deal that you have in place. You have a certain amount of time that you pay these coaches each year, but if they take another job, then it offsets that deal.
So, explain that to me, because when I read the article, Jimbo Fisher doesn't have an offset in his.
Jimbo didn't have an offset. It's up to the school to get an offset, because if you remember when LSU fired what was the last coach, and he went not Orgeron. The one that went to Kansas, because he was getting paid $6 million a year from Kansas. It offset his deal, so it offset the deal so that you were able to pay less each year.
So is that common? Is that common language? I mean, because that to me, that's just another layer of Jimbo Fisher really just fleecing Texas A&M University. I don't recall it. A coach not having the offset language put in the contract.
Yeah, so that's why they have to know who they're going to hire. Because otherwise, it's hard to keep going. Because how much they had to pay Kevin something?
I want to say it was like 18.
You can't just keep going to me. I'm a donor. Hey, now we got to pay this guy $76
million. I know he had offset because he went to Arizona.
Yeah, someone's like $9 million. But the offset is protect the school. Because the coach can go out and make more money the next year.
Right.
The offset is protect the school, because of the school, the first year of that contract, I think Texas A&M would have had to pay him $19 million. They're on the ledge to pay him $19 million. If he goes out and get another job making $7-8 million a year, he gonna get that $7 million from you plus the 19.
Yeah.
So
you talking about Jimbo?
Jimbo.
Well, Jimbo's his 19
like 30 days.
Well, right? Yeah, he gets that at 60 days.
It's like 19 million.
19.2
and
million.
Then it's like a certain amount a year.
7.2.
Yeah.
Until 2031.
Like that's crazy.
And that's it doesn't even matter if he were to get another job.
Yeah.
So it's still going to be paying.
So it's like monopoly money, and so that's why I say, the NCAA has so many problems. Because like I said, once again, as a recruit, you can't look at that and say, hey, I ain't worth this, and you paying guys just to go away.
Right. So that's one of the big things going on. As I mentioned before, the Michigan thing appears to have come to an end. The coach accepted, the ban, and he's going to be on the sideline for this game coming up against Ohio State, and it's their biggest game of the season. I know he's able to coach during the week, but he ain't gonna be in that. He's not gonna be on the sideline to be making in-game adjustments. I think this is a really big deal for a Michigan team that really looks to be a solid championship contender, along with Georgia. So I'm really interested to see how. And there are a lot of plots in this game because Ohio State's coming in losing the last two. Now, I've been around long enough to know that, and I lived in that part of the country. I don't care if you're 9-1, 10-1, but if you lose repeatedly to Michigan, to your rival, they want you out.
Yeah.
And don't take a whole lot of wins. And that could be what you were referring to last week when you were talking about Michigan losing four.
They lost 4 straight.
Losing 4 straight. But I think Michigan had come to the realization that they had one of their own, and they really wanted to hold on.
You know why they lost 4 straight? You know who the coach of the old team?
Was Urban Meyer?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So that cycle keeps turning over. So Day has got Ohio State, and he's got him humming, but he can't seem to get over that Michigan hump.
And if he loses this time, and Harbaugh not there, he might lose his job.
Yeah. That season's definitely going to be hot. Now, UCLA is going to be playing USC this weekend, and both of those schools are going to the Big Ten next year. So this is the final year that they're playing as a rival in the Pac-12. And from what there's been some shakeup on USC's coaching staff with the defensive coordinator. Finally,
Yeah. He should have been happy, man. They should have fired him after last year. Really shouldn't have brought him from Oklahoma with him.
No, they shouldn't.
Oklahoma ain't have a defense either.
But Lincoln Riley's showing a little stubbornness as well, man. He's I don't know if he's having that attitude of I'm smarter than the next guy because he was told that this guy wasn't that good at Oklahoma.
Yeah. But I think once again it's like those guys be made men USC is one of those schools where you don't even know how much money he's getting made, right, that he's making, and what his buyout is. So he probably feel like, his way go, and nobody can't say anything to him.
UCLA is no longer. Well, UCLA is not a. We don't look at UCLA as a big football powerhouse. They're a big time basketball program, but it's a decent program, pretty good program, a pretty good history, but. Chip Kelly's been there long enough, and he still hadn't gotten over. He hadn't put together 10 win seasons back to back. Is this seat hot if he loses?
It is, because one of the problems when I look at Chip Kelly and what Chip Kelly's doing at UCLA is what's your identity. As a new coach, you look to go to the transfer portal to build your program.
Which he did. He did that a couple of years. He did that a couple of years ago. Right.
But right now, in his stage and this stage in your program right now, you should not be going to the transfer portal
or relying on
it to build your program.
Yeah.
You should be recruiting at a regular basis now and competing with the other teams in that conference. Chip Kelly hasn't made it to that point yet. Chip Kelly is still going to the transfer portal and trying to build a program.
Yeah, but I think it's just, like you said, a bigger problem. I think if you're a coach now, you should have like 5-6 years. You only got 3.
Yeah.
Well, it's a new date now. Yeah. These schools, I think
you got to show coaches, some aggression, man.
Coaches want the money.
Yeah.
But you got to understand, with the money comes a lot more.
Expectations are high.
Expectations are high.
And you're right. It is come in with a formula to win and win right now.
And so that's why it's about. I feel like you got to take the right job. So that's why I think like whoever Texas A&M get, if he's a good coach, I think he'll be able to really turn around fast, especially because he'll be there in the off season.
Right.
And they got a pretty good base to start from. It ain't like they depleted the talent or whatever.
Right.
And so you'll be able to get in there and hit the ground running. So that's why I do think that they fired him so early, because I think they know who they gonna hire.
Well, you gonna talk to somebody. You're not gonna talk to the coach, but you talk to his agent.
Well, I want to bring this up because I think Florida is playing Florida State the last weekend of the regular season. And could Billy Napier's name be added to the buyout list?
Man, it should be.
Yeah,
it should be because
well, the only thing that I heard was saving his job was his recruiting class.
He does have the number 4 recruiting class right now.
That recruiting class falling apart.
Yeah, is it really?
It's falling apart. You've had 3 players to decommit from that class already. Yeah, one that went to Georgia last week. Auburn stole one, and then you possibly lose another. So I mean that recruiting class is falling apart.
Yeah. So right now we're looking at Michigan State's looking for a new coach. Texas A&M's looking for a new coach. Florida quite possibly could be looking for a new coach.
What about the Northwestern hire again? Because
they're going to stick with the guy.
They're probably going to stick with him.
He won a couple of games though.
Yeah, they're going to stick with him. Michigan State's looking for a new coach.
Yeah.
So I first
Mississippi State.
Yeah. Another guy I think needs to be considered. You know, his seat ought to be a little warm too. Is Franklin and Penn State, because he can't seem to beat.
Well, you keep blaming it on the offensive coordinator.
Well, I mean, their offensive
coordinator like 4 years.
Yeah, their
That's
offense
crazy.
is garbage.
How's he the offensive minded coach, but it's always the offensive coordinator's fault?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, and I you know, you watch Penn State. It's not for lack of talent. They have talent.
We've got about Arkansas too though.
I saw something when they said that you know, on Rivals they had put Penn State's new quarterback commitment. They got a 4-star commitment, and one of the fans from Penn State put on there in the comments, but the last guy was a 4 to 5 star too.
Yeah, absolutely. We got the Turkey Day Classic coming up, and Alabama State is on the road right now. Tuskegee they're floundering a little bit, to say the least. And I got some friends who are they work there or went to school there, or they're big supporters of Tuskegee, and they've been talking a lot of trash. They've been talking a lot of trash, throwing out empty bets. What do you guys think about the Turkey Day Classic coming up?
I think it could go either way, but I think that Alabama State fans are hoping that they can get that home victory. But I think it can go either way. It's one of the games it's a hard-fought game. No matter how good the other team is,
It's a rivalry.
It's a rivalry. They don't blow each other out.
Yeah.
It's a game where, I mean, the nice thing about it, it's a game where people come home to be with their family. So it's a reunion game.
Yeah.
So
and it's going to be your typical weather-wise. It's supposed to be in the low 60s. So it's going to be, I think, it should be a wonderful Thanksgiving, and it's going to be even better at the end of the day when Alabama State hang that. They're going to hang one on them, I think. We got to. What you think, Coach?
Yeah, I feel like ASU going to pull it out. They're playing good ball, hitting stride.
I think they found their stride, man. I think they found the quarterback they can stick with. I think the defense has kind of been there all season, and I'm expecting big things from Coach Robinson, man, moving forward. And I think I'm excited about the program. The big game, Iron Bowl. Now, again, Albie has been he's a diehard ride or die Auburn fan. Albie has said that I think he bet our producer a couple sticks. Now I want to get y'all opinion on this, because what Albie did was he bet the producer JT a stick on the game and a stick on the overall record of winning 8 games in the season. Now, a few weeks ago, when it looked like Auburn wasn't going to make that, I think Albie paid JT a stick. Now, as we're getting closer and Auburn is looking, in his eyes, it's looking like, man, well, I might be able to get 8 wins. I want JT to pay me my stick back. You and I talked about that. Doesn't that mean he forfeited his?
Of course, I told you how I feel about
yeah.
You know,
that's a forfeit.
You know what
that's
I
a
said.
Forfeit, man.
You know what I said to what you guys have to say. I don't worry about that. This is between me and the producer. So
the producer is also part of the strong arm. What's it called?
The slack arm brokerage.
Yeah, strong arm brokerage.
Slack arm brokerage.
So I think now, but you got your baby tiger shirt on.
No. I got my throwback tiger shirt on.
But how does that work though? You thought you like. I can't comprehend that you thought you lost.
Let me see.
So you paid your bet. But now that you winning, you want me to get back?
We're talking about the SEC right now. We're not going to talk about a bet. We're talking about the SEC. We're talking about the best conference in college football.
That ain't what the rankings say.
We're not talking about. We're not talking about this propaganda that they put out this year, where they put.
I love how you spin it.
I love how you bunch of average Pac-12
But I'm gonna tell you right
now.
I'm gonna talk to the producer.
But
strong arm brokerage.
But we're
I wouldn't pay him a dime. I wouldn't pay. I give him a smoke. He forfeited his right to a stick, even if they get a.
Can we get back on track to talk about the show and quit talking about what you want to talk about?
I'm just saying. I'm saying is, but listen, the game is in Auburn.
What y'all having y'all Caleb Williams moment now? Y'all feel sensitive.
The game is in Auburn, and I know I got my ASU shirt on, but I'm also Roll Tide. Now, we know that there's a prominent gas station in Auburn. We're planning.
And I would
we're planning. We're gonna stop at Buc-ee's.
And I would tell all you Alabama fans, stop at Buc-ee's and get you a brisket, because that's the only smile you're gonna have on your way out.
Okay, that's
the only smile you're gonna have on your way out. Okay. Get you a brisket. Get your brisket. Might well get your apple pie.
So what's your prediction?
Yeah, what's my prediction?
It's
gonna be a tight game, but I think Auburn gonna pull it out.
You think Auburn gonna pull it out?
Give me the score.
I think it'll be about 28-24, somewhere like.
So you're gonna score 28 points on Bama?
Yeah,
that's not gonna happen.
Okay,
that's not gonna happen.
Okay, I think we are.
I'm gonna give you 38. I'm gonna give you 38-10.
Oh, okay. Ooh. Well, you give me.
I'm giving you 30. I'm gonna say 38-10. I think
late to down.
It's.
Well,
I think that's going to be in the first half.
Okay, you'll score first.
Yeah, that's going to be the first half. Milroe going to have about 3 of them.
Yeah.
He's going to have about 3 of them.
So is your starting defensive end going to accidentally fall on my quarterback again this week?
Man, look, was there a penalty call?
I mean, that's what we're going to do now.
Is there a penalty?
That's how we're going to.
Look, y'all got 3 of them.
That's how we're going to do it.
We might as well just go through all 3 of them.
That's how we're going to do it.
So
that's how we're going to do it. Oh man,
what you think, Cooper? I can't talk to Aubrey sometimes because he's so pro Auburn, man.
And the way they look, and I'm gonna say 38-17.
38-17. Ooh.
Yeah, 38-17.
Is that gonna win the first half?
The game gonna be over. I'm like all jokes aside, the game gonna be over. But Auburn did make strides this year, though. I give them.
They made strides this year.
But
we give Aubrey a hard time.
Yeah, but they got better.
Yeah, Auburn has gotten better this season. But as I said, and I think Aubrey said it. He said if he were to get 8 wins, he said he was gonna have a producer wear an Auburn shirt.
Yes, he's gonna wear an Auburn shirt.
Is that what you said?
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not even gonna make him wear an Auburn shirt. I'm gonna make him go back to where he was great at. I'm gonna get him to wear an Army shirt.
Ooh. He wasn't in the Army.
Yes, he was. He was in the Army.
No, he was in the Army.
He was in the Army.
No, he was
in the Army. That's what you told me, right, producer? He was in the Army.
I thought
you didn't know that. No, he started in the Army.
Oh.
That's what he was great at. In the Army.
You didn't share some information I didn't know.
Okay. That's why he's sitting there smiling, because he remembered when he was great. I'm gonna get him to wear an Army shirt and bring me my cigar.
You forfeited those cigars.
I have not.
Yeah, bro, you did. You forfeited.
Me and the producer have talked.
Forfeited that
we have talked,
bro,
and that's our idea. Now y'all are not gonna change that.
You know, if I was the producer, I'd get some burnt cigars out my.
I get him Mary Jane.
Out my ashtray.
I get him one of them.
That I've already smoked. And I would give him.
That's why I'm glad me and my producer have such a good relationship. We talk privately.
Yeah,
because he has to make me happy.
Okay. Because of what?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because I gotta be here.
Got us out Thanksgiving special. Thank y'all for tuning in
Yes,
this
sir.
week.
We appreciate it. We hope y'all Torch here is done, as well as Sanctuary. We shot most of our shows at Sanctuary. So I want to thank both of those spots, and we look forward to more shows, more fans, more interaction. We're gonna keep this thing going. So again, thank you. We appreciate you, and we'll see you again next week.